All right, let's talk about something we all think is a superpower: multitasking. But what if it isn't? What if it's a myth? Today, we're going to dive into why this common habit might actually be holding you back, and more importantly, what we can do about it. So, I want you to do something for me. Think back to your last workday. Were you just busy, jumping from one thing to the next, constantly putting out fires? Now, here's the real question. Were you actually productive? We wear busyness like this badge of honor, but is it secretly sabotaging our best, most meaningful work? You know that feeling, right? That constant sense of busyness? Well, it often comes from something we've been taught to value: multitasking. But what if it's not a skill at all? What if it's actually a trap that pretty much all of us have fallen into? So, what are we really talking about here? It's this modern tendency to constantly, and I mean almost frantically, switch between tasks, devices, and even conversations. This has become the default setting for so many of us. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's effective. Let's make this real. I bet some of this is going to sound super familiar. You're trying to write a report, but bam, an email notification pops up and pulls you away. Or you're sitting in a meeting, but you're also kind of discreetly checking your phone under the table. Or you're trying to have a real conversation with someone while you're also typing a reply in a chat window. Yep, that's the multitasking trap in action. Okay, so we all know what this behavior looks like. Now let's get into why it's a trap. What are the hidden costs of living and working this way? And trust me, the price we pay is way, way higher than you might think. The first huge cost is what experts call shallow work. See, every single time you switch tasks, your brain has to basically reboot for the new thing. It's a cognitive penalty, a context-switching cost. This constant gear shifting means you never get the chance to go deep. You just end up skimming the surface of everything, mastering nothing, and your best ideas get totally lost in the noise. Next up is a big one: stress. I mean, think about it. That feeling of being pulled in a dozen different directions at once, it's not just inefficient, it is mentally exhausting. It creates this low-grade, constant anxiety because your brain never truly gets to rest. It's always waiting for the next interruption to hit. And finally, here's the most obvious cost: just frequent mistakes. When your focus is split, you're not just working on the surface, you're working carelessly. Details get missed, typos slip right through. That really important email accidentally goes to the wrong person. These aren't signs you're overworked, they're symptoms of a fractured focus. So yeah, it sounds a little bleak, right? We're caught in this trap of shallow, stressful, error-prone work. But, and this is a big but, there is a way out. And it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. It's about embracing a mindful alternative. This alternative is called the Virtuous Counterpoint, and I gotta say, I love that name. It's not some complicated technique. It's a whole different way of operating. It's the simple, though not always easy, practice of mindful attention, focusing deeply on one task at a time and giving your full presence to whatever is right in front of you. And wow, this slide really lays out the choice so clearly. On one side, you have that scattered busyness, the constant switching and all the stress and mistakes that come with it. And on the other, a clear path to quality, to deep focus, and to a sense of care and presence. I mean, which side do you want your work and really your life to be on? Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? How do we break a habit that we've had for a lifetime? Well, it actually boils down to a pretty simple, practical strategy. It really just comes down to these 3 steps. First, pick one task and give it your undivided attention. Seriously, close the other tabs, put your phone on silent. Second, bring a real sense of care and presence to that task. Engage with it completely. And third, and this is the huge mindset shift, you have to consciously decide to value the quality of your focus over the quantity of things you're juggling. Let's just let that sink in for a second. This could be your new mantra: value quality over scattered busyness. It's about trading the illusion of productivity for the real thing. It's a profound shift that can change not just what you produce, but your entire relationship with your work. All right, so we've looked at the trap and we've illuminated the path out. The only thing left to do now is to actually take that first step. So let's talk about your next move. And that brings us to our final question. And this one's just for you. Don't think about tomorrow or next week. Just think about right now. What is the one single task that deserves your full, undivided attention? Pick it, commit to it, and just see what happens when you trade that busyness for presence.